What is happening, YouTube? Today is, I think, the 23rd, July 23rd. Let me see. July 22nd, actually. Um, Another update, daily updates. Y'all already know how this goes. But so we've been trading futures now. Today is day two. And we're going to talk about greed today because greed will screw you over. Like we already know, trading is 80% emotional, 20% everything else, actual execution. So let's talk about greed. So I switched from trading options to trading futures because when I would trade options, two things would happen. Number one, it was hard to set a true stop loss because we know the spread on options. Sometimes you might set a stop loss, then usually I feel like it would fill for even less because the spread was wider. Next, I felt like whenever the price was actually going in your favor, that even if the price may go up $1, $2, whatever the case might be, depending on the Greeks and the option contract you chose, that number would sometimes hop up faster than expected or a lot of times slower than expected, just depending on, what option you selected. But with that being said, a lot of times too, sometimes you might get up to 10%, 20%, and then suddenly stuff doesn't go your way and it comes back down to nothing. That 20% might, give you an unrealized profit of, I don't know, in my case, when I was trading with maybe about $500-$600, I might get an unrealized profit of maybe 50 or $60. 20% based on $600 what I paid for the contract. And you're like, man, $60, like that ain't that much. That's the mental thought on that. But at the same time, when you look at it from a percentage standpoint, 20% is a lot. If somebody gave you 20% of what's in your bank account every day, like you would be balling very quickly. So in the grand scheme of things, 20% is a lot, but greed always tells you that you want more. Greed is, I would say, for most humans, a natural thought, a natural habit, a natural want. Of course, that's kind of what greed is a want. So I got to learn to break that cycle. I've been doing somewhat better breaking that cycle in my personal life. I started out, in life not making very much money. I, over the years, worked my way to making more than six figures. And, as I made more, I wanted more. I always wanted to level up. That's the nice way to put it. But really, leveling up is just greed. The reality of it is that although we all want to level up, leveling up, if you're not ready for it, does not benefit you. It's just want. It's not really leveling up. It's just want. If you're not ready for it, then it's not going to benefit you at all. But I say that to say this. So with trading futures, as soon as that price starts moving the direction that that I want for it to move, immediately my dollars are going up. Money machine going off in my head. And there have been multiple trades where I've very quickly, when I say very quickly, I mean like within less than 5 minutes, less than 10 minutes, gotten up to over $200, $300 on a trade. But because it was so quote unquote easy to do, I'm like, oh, if I got to 200, I can get to 300. If I got to 300, I can get to 400. But it's really just the greed talking. Like if you can secure a trade of $400 every day, 5 days a week, do the math. Like that's literally six figures a year. $400 a day will get you six figures a year. $400 on a trade, it's very doable to do that on a daily basis. It's not that hard. But like I said, that goes back to the conversation of greed. Even though I'm now on, in the prop firm account making way more than I was making doing options trading, I'm still having an issue with letting go and accepting what comes to me. Whether that be $100, $200, $400, whatever it is, I'm still working on that. So right now I'm not playing with my money. I am on the prop firm account, 50K Lucid Trading prop firm account. I'll be 100% transparent. I started with a 50. It got down close to 48. Now I'm back up to like 49 and some change. And after today, I placed a couple trades like just out of the norm, trying to chase everything that I thought had potential. And I'm not saying I was wrong every time because, like I said, I've had multiple trades where I've been up, but I wasn't always, I guess you can say, as right as I wanted to be. When I say that, I mean if I set my target to be here, I would always fall short. But it's not because I didn't know that I was gonna fall short, but I'm just trying to, force more out of the trade than what it's worth. I could easily take the easy, $100, $200, whatever it may be, and run with it, but instead that greed is playing on me. So my focus over the next couple of days is a couple things. I had one solid trade today. I maybe did two trades today. I think maybe two or three, but I had one solid trade today, and it's just this simple. I waited for the. I think I was trading Spy. I want to say it was Spy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Spy. I might post a picture here, but I was trading Spy, and I literally did one simple thing. I waited for the price to fall back to my demand slash supply zone. In this case, it was a supply zone, or it ended up turning from a demand to a supply zone. And I did very simply. I set my buy limit just below the zone, and I set my stop limit just above the zone. If it worked against me, I would have lost $150. But based on how I saw everything was going and the market breaking structure and changing directions, I expected we'd already had a nice little rise up, but I'd already expected it to go back down to the to right around the orb mark, the 15-minute orb mark. So back right around that area there, and it did. Like I said, it did. Very simply put. So I rode the trade out. I ended up having something to do, so I ended up closing it. But it did make it to my initial target point. But even with me closing it out early, that was still a $400, $500 move, something like that. Um, but it was just that simple. Waiting for the demand or supply zone, setting my points, and letting it do what it do. When you get to a demand or supply zone, you already know that the stock is going to do something. It's either going to go straight through or it's going to go back in the same direction. If you set a limit, a sell limit on the downside of that zone, a buy limit on the top part of that zone, most likely one or the other is going to catch and you're going to make that money. That's literally all you got to do. Literally all you have to do. I'm not saying it's going to work out 100% of the time, but that way you can actually play both sides of it. And then once you hit that, you know, once you hit that, then you ride it out, get your 200, 300, whatever it might be realistic in your target points, and be good. Simple. What do you do at that point? Set an alert at the other demand slash supply zone areas and wait till you get an alert and then do it all over again. That's it. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. Waiting till I get to the demand and supply zones that I see and let it ride. If it takes a day for it to come around, that's fine. If I can get $400 off of one trade, I'm Gucci. If it takes 2 days to come around, which it's not, but if it did take 2 days to come around, then hey, it is what it is. But if I can get a solid trade and not lose any money, that's still winning. Just winning differently. But with that being said, that's all I got for the 22nd of July. Peace.